Hey guys, it's Parker here, back at part 14 of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Wait, no, not Chronicles, Resolve. For this part, we're gonna still continue to investigate for case 3. Gina? We were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright, if it's around here, I can do what you like. Oh, that's right, is it? Toby! I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. Ah yes, Toby. The machine expo must be at top of the stairs, I presume? Oh wait, I think we have already went through this, but now we got Sarah's permission, so we could go up there now. Okay, they're just repeating the same thing that we have heard. Well, we got permission. So let us go, Gina. Actually, just recently been to see Lord Songhart. Eh? You what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him, he waited for 3 hours to call his office and came back sniffling. Tragic. Well, Lord Songhart has given us permission to examine the scene as long as he touched nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly. Alright then, go ahead. But it turns out you're lying. It'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all this is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really will be tragic. He really loves those chips. Alright then, dumps the stairs, off we go. Oh, Alright, let's examine this and off we go. We can finally go to the experimentation stage. Oh my, so this is the machine that was used to see people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place. Yes, that's right, or rather it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. They probably dismantled it. What extraordinary lengths Professor Hairpin went to in order to obtain the research grant. No, the professor's tricked us all. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It is amazing though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. You're right about that. You never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. Oh look, is that Lord Francisque? It sure is. So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Mrs. Otto? Already? He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think. But we have permission to be here from the top. We're perfectly well and allowed to investigate the machine. As long as you don't touch anything. From the top? Do you mean Lord Songhart? Yes, Yunosuke, we just went there. She could have been at the center of the explosion here. It wouldn't have bent her steel will. That's true. Examine. I mean, let's examine. Least approachable man of the world winner 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your sister stand firm behind you. Lord Francisque. What? Well, beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently you Nipponies are unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them, alright. So, what are you doing here? Introduced areas prohibited. Well, the thing is, we got permission. And yet you managed to disturb me. I mean, you're not part of the evidence. What, are you part of the machinery over there, Francisque? We could talk to you if you want to. Never mind, state your business then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Francisque about. Not least of which is the Alpha case, even though it's nothing to do with this. Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo, you won't know unless you try. Oh boy. Your brother Clint. Oh boy, we just going with this? So, Clint. What's the name of your older brother? I understand, Lord Francisque. You Nipponies, I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you? Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother is also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Fancy's family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. The professor, you mean? Is something funny? That's the extent of what you discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it then? Lackluster work is very much a trademark, isn't it? Ugh, you're too kind. Are you gonna do tar all deep bunnies with the same brush next? So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident? As it happens for Fancies, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tussauds Museum waxwork by any chance? I am, naturally. I believe that since last month, I feature one of the displays there for public scorn. Of course, the infamous Reaper de Veil would have had to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, a particular waxwork had been stolen for the place and held for ransom. A particular waxwork which? Wait, you mean... Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Schultz is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned as white as a sheet. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mrs. Drebber, already? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Which, according to Professor Hairbrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So I was wondering, I realize it's probably not possible, but we very much appreciate any more clues you could give us. Wow, Susan really knows to take the bull by the horns. Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Though it appears he already had that black monocle at the time. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised they shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track it down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? What is it about Lord Van Zeke? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Okay. He just has like a wall around him, you know? It's Kazuma. I know it is. The file requested for a trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you alright? Who is this man, Mr. Naruhodo? He looks so familiar. Lord Van Zeke's apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too. He looks like freaking Kazuma! Lord Van Zeke's, may we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Kazuma-sama! I knew it! I knew it! Kazuma? I don't believe it. Maybe he lost his memory. Your posture, your presence. It can only be, it's you. Isn't it, Kazuma-sama? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure, as if I knew him somehow. Can it? Can it really be you, Kazuma? Wait! Too late. What's going on here? What the heck is going on here? Your apprentice? What is your interest in my apprentice and exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Sara introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor, but he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. Oh my god, of course he is. Of course Kazuma forgot about everything. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. He has amnesia? Oh my god. Tomorrow he'll appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Sangar's orders. So maybe Strongheart like knows about Kazuma. Like he... Oh my god. What's going on here? He'll be in court with us? Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation is run its course. Oh, yes, thank you. I definitely saw a reaction there. When Susasan called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve because she was literally calling out his name. Like, even if you have amnesia, I'm pretty sure you can remember your name at some point. Oh boy. Wait. Does this brooch kind of look familiar? I'm pretty sure some other character wore that. Didn't the coroner wear that kind of monocle? Or, I mean, brooch? Or is it just my imagination? Well, I don't know. I don't trust Strongheart at the moment because he knows about Kazuma, but he didn't tell us about Kazuma, and he just like hired Kazuma as a judicial assistant for prosecution. Oh gosh, like what does this mean? Like what's going on here? Okay, I'll just examine the scene here. You're about to say nothing ever goes to plan, aren't you? Oh no, I would never say something like that. Nothing ever goes to plan. This wasn't here yesterday. Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air. That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Herping said in court, it's made of wood, but it wasn't at the scene yesterday, though. Okay, well, while we're investigating, why don't I talk about the other games I've been playing? So, I think y'all may know that I played Genshin Impact, and then I summoned the Yai Miko banner, and then I lost it 50-50 to Diluc, and I was like pretty salty about it. And then right after I got Diluc, I did 10 rolls, and then the next 10 rolls, like the first 2 rolls were Yai Miko, so I got 2 Yai Mikos in a row. So I have a C1 Yai now. It was, it was honestly one of the luckiest moments of my life. Okay, anyway. You're going to have to leave now. Please, just be quiet about Genshin Impact for now. We are playing this game. The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Let's skedaddle. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Mrs. Otto. Of course. Ah, look here, Mrs. Otto. Oh yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. I suppose because it fell from such a height? Yes, from the height at which the balloon is flying, down to the crystal tower below. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters, leaving a man inside tragically dead. Oh boy, it crashed down into the victim, causing damage to the base of the birdcage. I mean, wouldn't the legs be broken? If like it fell from this and then it hit the floor here, then wouldn't the legs like get into a considerable damage? I'm not sure. Okay, you know, I completely forgot to examine Jabber's card. I should have done that in this first place. What am I doing? It's not like I'm an amateur. Oh, oil stain. Alright. This dark smudge here. I think perhaps it's machine oil. Ah yes, possibly. Professor Herbert mentioned something about the oil Mr. Jabber uses, didn't he? He said it was specially ported from very high quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Yes, that's right, but more importantly, that it's more fragrant than the finest perfume, so excuse me a moment. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all. Don't worry, I expect it just because there's just such a tiny amount on here. Oh wait, can we give this card to Gina's dog, Toby. About this, Gina. Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble. Actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important. How come? There's just a dirty old smudge in the back, that's all. It turns out this very high quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently. You don't say. Let's have a whiff then. You sure? I don't smell nothing. Oh no, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh right. Yeah, I mean Toby. Toby! His sense of smell is so good, he could track people over the oceans, can't he? Professor Herbert informs us that the oil is unique to Mr. Gerber's workshop. Sorry. I think he's picked up a scent. So I mean, if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to the dodgy clothes workshop? That's right, that's exactly what we're hoping. Alright then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. What? Wait, when did you- What's a pickpocket? If I could lead everyone to the Gerber's workshop, I'll be the boss's bossy for next week. Oh yes, Gina. I'm sure he'd be promoted. Poor Gregson. Right then, I'll leave it to me. Sorry? We're gonna get on going after that dodgy engineer code right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. You need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. It ain't gonna be me what's gets hooking back. What's gets in the neck. It'll be the boss. Poor Gregson again. Ready, Toby? Got that oil scent, have it? Come on then, boy. See you later. Toby is so adorable. I do hope to send that oil leads into Sunder's workshop. Yes, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Well, I think we've done all the investigation we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Gerber. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss. I'm dying to meet him again after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful, right? We have to find him out of his spells. Alright, let's go. There was a little hiccup, but we have found our footing. Here we are again at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't got used to the place yet. Eek! What's the matter? Look, Mr. Hart, look at that waxwork! I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. It shows. Looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail. Aha! What is it? Oh, sorry. I think you'll find that's his temporary waxwork himself. The friend of my dedicated employee. Yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Hi. I must say I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... But yes, the mystery's solved already. Wow, Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So, as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yes. His habitual duties? Alors. Do not disturb, yes ma'am. Whatever you say, ma'am. Poor Sasada-san. She looks very perplexed. Alright, let's examine. Oh my god. I'm so curious about this. What a horrifying scene, a murder con a grisly act. I know, and in case you're wondering, it's the one the big knight that's supposed to be the killer. I don't think anyone would be in any doubt of that, surely. And did you know, according to tradition, the bathtub in the back has no particular significance? What? Really? I would have thought it was meant to show the killer also worked in a bathhouse peddling criminal wares. Aha! We have a new theory. Ah, just stepladder. Oh my god, the famous stepladder ladder theory. I mean, argument in the Ace Attorney series. Oh yes, a stepladder. I think perhaps you should appropriate just know that someone's left it out. The stepladder. I mean, is something wrong? Why do I feel as though I just managed to sidestep an argument? You and Sugi didn't say it's a ladder, so y'all two can like argue. It's a stepladder. No, it's a ladder. It's a stepladder. Ladder. Ah yes, the heavy curtains in the middle of the house of horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's gonna be terrifying, don't you? The sign says the Madam Tussauds special exhibit. It seems you have to pay extra to go inside. I know, can you believe that? Pay more money as if we have been scared enough already. It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo. Man, you two are scaredy cats. We really do need to speak with Mr. Jones. I'm longing to say hello again. But where is he? He's right there. He's kind of boxing over there. I think you might find it is quite nearby, actually. Oh, what do you... Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I, the world-famous great detective waxer, Sherlock Holmes. Susato-san! Susato-san! No. My most humble apologies. I thought I died and got to Eternal Paradise for a moment via London. My dear madame, allow me to make amends by offering you a TC-free deduction at some point, as long as it's not crushable street food quality. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Jones? Merely a secret identity, I understand. That case is largely solved now. Largely solved? We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume? Indeed, we are, my good fellow, as I protected. It was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I've yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today for that matter. Oh gosh. That stomach rumble echoed through around the whole museum. So how'd you manage to solve it so quickly? Well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiate with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? Oh yes, it's the most modern invention allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet. This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. That's amazing. Just between you and I, it appeared the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork at any event. Oh, but I thought whoever was also demanded a ransom, no? Yes, I think perhaps. The ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. But does that not mean your negotiation was entirely unnecessary? A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tussauds at all costs. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street after all. Poor Iris. Now then, do I since I have some business with this great waxwork? Alright, converse. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh? Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Jabber. He's a slender dude, Professor Hairbrain, and the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer, quite the modern man. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But I have so few clues to go on, that's trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet. It's the capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance at least, I may be in a better position to help. Yes, Jabber's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, personally I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it. Okay, I have a picture here. Mr. Jones, would you cast your eyes over this photograph of print? It's of Enoch Jabber, the face of the engineer we seek. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course, so looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Jones? Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting this. Very interesting indeed. What's wrong, Mr. Jones? You, whoops. Whoops. You've turned quite pale all of a sudden. I'm guessing he knows him. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? My dear Miss Naruto, stay the Percy stare. What is this about? Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship, your words are very clear. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led this curious murder. You told us that was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body. Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today, the victim, Kazuma Aosogi. You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure it was Kazuma-sama. You must have known all the time, at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. Well, I can only assume accept that the murder's atmosphere at the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all? Priceless! I don't suppose the performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruto? Nope. I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake, but not you, Mr. Sholmes. I will now tell you something the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself in the throes of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that's all I can say. I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruto. Will you indulge me? Oh, well, what is it? As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork had been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken. Behind those thick curtains. Oh yes, the professor exhibit, isn't it? Would you like to see it for a mere 5 shillings? That's a special one-time only price, you understand? What? The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Would you like the fruits of my labor? Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps you could postpone. The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find this well worth it. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if it's seriousness or silliness. I can never tell you, that's the point. Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings. Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit waits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Okay. Well, the money's spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit. Okay. Through this heavy curtains at last. Whoops, not move. 5 shillings you had to pay. It doesn't seem right someone Mr. Sean slipped the money to his own pocket, does he? Does it? No. Ah, we can ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? Not to mention, demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands or trip-loving inspectors. Inspector Gregson comes up rather well in that listing. Okay, let's see the special exhibit. Why is the head missing? Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here. Mrs. Otto, I said we turn our heels and go straight home, but a really big confectionery. We certainly can't do that. We paid 5 shillings already. True. Actually, now I'm looking a little closely. We paid good money seeing exhibit. That's clearly incomplete. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place. This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said the case was largely solved. Where the frick is the head? Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes had provided a brief clue about the engineer here, didn't he? But where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we? Yes, we will get what we paid for. Is that fear or frustration that's making Suzato-san's voice tremble? Maybe a mixture of both. This part exhibit is just disturbing as the rest. It looks so real. It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. And he has a large shovel in his hand too, look. Perhaps we should investigate in a little more detail. Can we see his face? Why can't I see the face? What the heck? They're not showing the face! They're like, you cannot see the face! You shall never see the face! I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just... Oh, do you think you can be manhandling the exhibits, Naruto? I'll put it back where it was, don't worry. Yes, can we look at face, please? Oh, it's the engineer. What on earth? How can... I don't believe it. A black monocle. Miss Naruto, is it possible that the man is... Yes. It's Inuk Drebber. The color of his hair is different, but it's unmistakably him. Whoops, him. Indeed it is. Mr. Jones. This man is the subject of a present hunt, I believe. Yes, that's right. Just who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? And why does the convict behind it have no head? The head was missing and the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. So then the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved with my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head, totally suit, as Madame would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. A very hungry eye still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations. Arg! Do you know though, something about this room is strange. Strange? What do you mean? Well, the displays in the House of Hearts are supposed to depict real events, are they not? Indeed they are, Mrs. Sato. Do go on. Then how is that guy coming out of the grave? And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely couldn't ever really have happened, could it? I think it's time I educated you a little. About the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago. Okay, are you finally gonna talk about it now? I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. Oh gosh, an enormous hound? How awful. After taking the life of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand. Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. A closed court? So you mean that the professor's identity... As you surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. Oh. The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Oh, I've heard like cases where hanging not victims, like criminals, like it could go wrong. Like the rope would be too loose, or it would be too tight, or like it wouldn't like strangle the criminals that well, so they would actually like survive it after like getting knocked out. I've heard of cases like that, but I guess it's happened here. The exhibit here depicts that very scene, as described by the sole witness to those chilling events. There was a witness? But of course, my dear fellow, was none other than the young man in the white overcoat. Inuk Drebber. He saw it happen? So this is a waxwork model of Inuk Drebber. 10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been beheaded and buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of the night. The sole witness that imagined was seen was a young man. From appearances, say he's about 20 years old. It's so horrifying. Scared out of his wits, the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he's seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. Yes, as shown in the photograph we have of him, his hair is completely white. For the following few days, the story of what he's seen was on every front page in the capital. The public was frantic for every last detail, but the killer had come back to life. As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here at Madame Tussauds. I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly, but what I don't understand is what Sherber was doing in the first place, in a lonely graveyard, in the middle of the night, with a frickin' shovel and a camera. Yes, what was he up to? The professor's acts of terror threw London's upper classes to a complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal, one might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abounded. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder. Yes, I can imagine the impact the case must have had. But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale. But why did people stop believing it? Why? Simply because there is no resurrection to speak of, as is established in fact. What do you mean by no resurrection? The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution. No, but that would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers. That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes? The young man subsequently vanished from society and nothing has been heard of him since. It's rather striking then that he should resurface now, don't you think? Of course the convict and murderer couldn't really have come back to life, that's not possible. But Drebber's hair is unusually white, and if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, it's hard to believe the incident was an out and out lie. And like, why would he lie about it? What would he gain from lying about it? Sorry, I just can't speak today. Can we examine the camera? What's this here? A camera? Well, it just appeared to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera. A camera, but it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints? I think perhaps we should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera? I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think. Alright. By looking at the photographic plate instead of the camera, we can see what picture was taken. What's a photographic plate? It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming in through the lens. If you open the cover at the back of the camera, you should find it. Let's have a look. You should see yourself as all of a sudden your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? That's quite a large lamp the man is carrying. Or is it a lantern? It's not unlike a Japanese chochin paper lantern actually, is it? Lamp, lantern, chochin. The point is it casts very little light. To be walking alone in a graveyard at night when only this. Well, I certainly couldn't do it. I'm not sure I could visit a graveyard at all, even in broad daylight, 2BH. Why are you holding a shovel? Were you trying to dig something out? What a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in a graveyard in the middle of the night? Mrs. Otto? Yes? That's a spade, isn't it? No, it's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping out loose material. It's a spade. We've been through this, Mrs. Haruhodo. It's a shovel. No. Although, we haven't considered trolls. We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement. So we're going to bury the hatchet? You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. Thoroughly examine this statue. Ooh, look at the owl over here. Man, Madame Tussauds is so talented to make all this. This must be the killer, the fiend known as the Professor. Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tussauds said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place. I know, it looks like it would start moving any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head, that is. Perhaps we could examine in a little more detail. Okay. So this is the condemned man. Yes, the so-called professor. Then perhaps his head was chopped up by a guillotine. But unable to find peace, he emerged from the grave as the headless ghost. No, they said he was hanged. Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mrs. Otto? Anyway, I should have modeled how the head was. There's a metal fitting for it, see? Then perhaps Mr. Sholmes absentmindedly forgot to reattach it. That's an extremely absent-minded detective we're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned it to the museum, and that would be extremely absent-minded thief. Could there have been a reason why only the head wasn't returned? Because they didn't want the people to know. They didn't want anyone to know who the professor's identity was. Well, whatever the reason, it means you don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh. There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. What? It looks like a piece of broken glass, and quite a big piece too. Oh my god, the glass is from the crystal tower. It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say. Where could such a thick piece of glass come from, I wonder? I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength. It's from the crystal tower. Well, perhaps. Because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as in a big building, for example. Like the crystal tower. You don't mean... Exactly, the crystal tower of the Great Exhibition. But why would glass in the crystal tower be lodged inside this waxwork's jacket? It makes you think, doesn't it? Holy shit. Early in core we established that the kinetic experiment was a trick, and now we discovered this fragment of glass here in this waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? I think not. Ah! What the bleeding Nora, Oda? What have you gone and done? Actually, can we look at the camera and the glass? What a wonderful machine! You really love contraptions like this, don't you? Oh yes, anything mechanical I find absolutely irresistible. Almost irresistible, surely? Well, whenever I see a pocket watch, for example, I can't help myself. I simply have to take it apart. That's worrying. Yes, father tells the time by the rumbling of his stomach now. He's given up having a watch. Poor Professor Mekotoba. But isn't it fun dismantling machinery? Look, Mrs. Naruhodo, what is it? On the below is just here. There seem to be some very dark red stains. Is it blood? It looks like blood, actually. Oh my. I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. Ha 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 ha. What the hell? Why is there blood? Oh look, the cover came open. Yes, now there should be a glass plate inside. You have to change the plate with each new photograph you want to take, you see. Is something wrong? There's no plate. It's been removed. Ah, what a pity, but I suppose if you think about it, this wouldn't be the actual camera that was used at the time, just like the waxwork isn't the actual person. So I never found a photograph print of the executed convict coming back to life anyway. Oh yes, you're quite right, of course. Of course it's all sound. She looks devastated. I can't find anything out of place. I'm sorry, that's so funny to me. This piece of glass is almost as thick as it is wide. Yes, I've never seen anything like it. If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Sholmes has such thick skin. There's really no need for such a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know. Anyway, it can only be from a crystal tower, surely? Yes, I think so too. It was probably made especially to meet the demands of the great structure. Gina, what are you doing here? I asked Iris and he said this is where you'd be, so... Gina, that's the law of the museum. Madame Disfels will have you take a position as waxwork if you're not careful. I think there might be a more pressing concern. I still had the flash powder from 6 months ago, so... Alright, Gina, we understand, but please put down the gun. Sorry, I got scared. You should try being the one on the other side of the barrel. So, what brings you here, Gina? I mean, she already was. She already was on the other side of the barrel in the previous game. What brings me here? What do you think? We found it. We found a Dodgy Co's workshop. What? You found Jervis' workshop? Toby! Yup, Toby's nose took me straight there. The boss and others are heading over there now in a drag, so come on. Here's the address. I got the boss to write it out. Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once. Alright then, see ya there. Thanks, Gina. And thank you, Toby. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here. Being still. What? I know my place. Exhibit over there. Are you okay, Sholmes? Oh dear, someone is feeling sorry for himself. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming. Your words hurt me, I say, but if I were to shirk my duties here, Madame would have me, whoops, pay monetary recompense. Our dinner plate would be empty once more. Forget that. I'll pay for everything. Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail a carriage at once. No offer to share the cost of Mr. Sholmes, then. I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Mrs. Otto. Right, let's go. That looks like... Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Indeed, it appears so, though only prototype naturally. Ah, so you got here then? Gina, well done for finding this place. Toby! It's Toby here, it's the miracle worker. What's going on? I thought you lot would show up before long. Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted, bro. Wow, he really does not want to look. He looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer? Sadly, no. We didn't find a soul in here. Oh, what a shame. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us a chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, I only found it thanks to Kui all turned up. I wouldn't want to say go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if we're hoping to soup around here, I get cracking. Laura Von seeks a forensic investigation team are on their way here as we speak. Then again, I imagine you got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to our types. Right. So then, my dear fellows, turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do the lawyers. Very Joel, Gregson, very Joel. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model. I am Sholmes, just a waxwork model. Right then, let's see what we can find in here. Oh my god, the freaking ladder. The step ladder. Oh wait, we can't. Oh well. Why don't we investigate the scene? Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting day, what did you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. I no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains will soon go away. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellent science and young scientists who wish for no higher honor. Ah. Would you like a massage? No, I'm fine, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much to this in Mr. Northstrober than conjuring tricks. I couldn't agree more, my dear madame. And how about you, Miss Naruhodo? Would you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? It's curious though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a chef mystery at times. Why did he throw the trophy away like that? Was he not proud of his achievements? There's a little metal plaque here, look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. It seems rather ironic, doesn't it? But clearly Mrs. Gerber really was a very talented art scientist. This is it's an European style quiver arrows with steel bolts inside. Didn't he use a crossbow? Crossbow bolts, these, and just the right size for a bow you all turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words, yep, there's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Jebra was some pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. Holy shit. This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. There's Specialist Optimus on his way from here for no yard, so hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector, I can have the lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission, and no one's giving it to you. Kristen looks as though you really enjoyed that. Well, there's just not anybody on the side. No, Jebra must have fled the first sign of danger. I'm sorry, Mrs. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by a special dispensation of Scientific Equipment Act. There will be serious repercussions if we were to examine it for the Crown and the government. Oh, okay. Well, those two don't see me holding back. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices that deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose change up on the floor or nothing. Not even a bone for Toby here, my dear fellow. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Mrs. Sato. Oh, is something wrong, Mrs. Sato? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it and all. What do you reckon, Toby? Right, my degrees. What? Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. What? Oh my, someone is in there. Argh, this rotten bleeding lock. My dear Gregson, as you said only minutes ago, if only you were continents, I could unlock the door in less than a minute. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just gotta steer the blasted door. There, you may enter at will. You confuse minutes with seconds, I think. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are you waiting for? Nothing for, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond the door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes. What? The heck? Did he escape out the window? What's happening here? Why is everything upside down? Rats, there ain't no one in here after all. But there must be. It was only moments ago they heard those noises. Maybe that was the sound of Jebra running away. But there's only one door in this room. Maybe he went out the window. And no windows are forward and escape route. The skies are too high. Well, why are there footprints on it then? What's that up there? Are those footprints on the ceiling? What have we here then? Looks like someone's trying to burn something in a hurry. Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints. To what? To that Professor Hairpine's barming machine, is it? Believe me, if we had these there, I've been no need to muck about trying to investigate all this scrap metal. There's something of great interest here too. This rope was lying on the floor on the foot of the pillar. A rope? What's significant about that? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive too. Alright, time to investigate. Mrs. Shones, have we found something? Mr. Naruhodo, yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make? Oh, this, it looks like a bomb. Let's see, I've never seen anything like this before. Mrs. Sato, what's the matter? That's a... Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? What? Did you say? A time bomb? Sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly? Eh? You try one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment. Ha! You don't know nothing, do you, Odo? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it's a very similar appearance. Oh, well, thank goodness, but then, what is it? I see, so that's it. Goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen their heart or matter? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair, for I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I've learned to accept the harshness that comes with being a great detective, Mrs. Otto. Here we go, I feel a great deduction coming. Once again, I could draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Jumper himself. Oh, but how could you... And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is without question completely genuine. Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything. It would be a pleasure. After all, it's a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. Well, Inspector Gus seems delighted with the idea anyway. Oh, you deflected the inspector's here with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done. You're too kind, my dear madame. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mrs. Otto. Oh, yes, I'd be delighted. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Alright guys, I think that'll be it for part 14 of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Next part, Flip Furniture. We'll be going through Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.